Oh, welcome back, my gardening friends. Very chilly morning, damp and horrible again. But I've been cracking on with the leaf mould bins and these tools from is it Hyecho that I reviewed earlier on in the year. I've done me proud again on building this, and I'm trying to tidy as I go. And I'll take these home and I'll chop these up for sticks for my log burner to start it off in the morning. But everything's wet through, so the tools don't always work to their full capacity while things are damp. But let's just show you around, see how we're getting on, and then we'll do a bit of pause and record, and I'll let you know what I'm trying to achieve. I did 4 hours on this yesterday. It's the beginning of December now, and again you'll be watching these videos maybe a week later because of uploading, and I'll try and do a few videos so I can spread them out just to keep you informed in what I'm up to over the winter months. So don't forget, thumbs up or a thumbs down for the interaction. Please pop a comment in, and why not consider subscribing to what I've been getting up to. And I've been dropping a few videos in on the hashtag logging and storage. I'm going to be doing a few more videos on log burners, storing wood, etc. So those will go into the playlist for when I explain about splitting wood, etc. And why we should split wood, why, you know, how we stack the wood to dry it, bark up and bark down for certain parts of the process, the drying process over the seasoning. But let's have a little look round, see what we've been up to. And I'm using the Cooljob bamboo touchscreen gloves, so hopefully I haven't got to keep taking my gloves off on these cold days. So when we do little projects like this, sorry about my throat guys, I've got all the wood out that I've been collecting for some of these projects. Just so that I can see what I've got. I passed a skip this morning, and it had got a roll of plastic in, unused, and 2 bird boxes. Now I presume that one on the left's a robin, and this one may be for the tit family. What's the best positions for those? If you want to drop me a comment, if you've had any experience putting bird boxes up. And we've been dumping all the wood that we no longer need here, ready to continue with another fire. And all the small bits, we'll have a little brazier fire later on if you're still with me. Here's some of the old pallets that were in the old bin. Might not have to use these now, but this area is all opened up because we've moved all these pallets. At the moment, all this is costing me is for the screws, so we'll probably be up to about £7. All the other timbers are surplus to requirements. I'll always ask people what they're doing with the bits they don't need. It's well worth it, because over the period of time you can create something really nice. So this leaf mould bins, that's the 12-month-old, that's what we got out of the old bay there. We wanted to reduce the amount of moisture they got on them. I can then control the moisture that goes into them. So this has been built now. Before I built this one bay, then this was an add-on when I decided to do my leaf mould over 2 years. So we move every year, we move 1 year's leaf mould to here, then this then goes through the trommel to get the leaf mould. And up to yet, all the old bits of timber are coming in useful, and you have to sort of have a little thing, stand back, but I think I'm going to use these now to put across the top, similar to that one there, and then these here will go in between to hold up the polycarbonate. I don't like walking you about, guys. we've got 2 pallets there, but we've cut one down so we could get this post in the middle. So the next pallet we've overlapped it, you can see there, so it just gives it a little bit more strength. There's one of the old pallets that was on the bottom part. Some more bits here. I'm not having a full opening, you'll see as we go. These are some old Correx signs that I'm going to use on the higher bit, because this plastic does break down when it's in contact with the sunshine, because this is the builder's plastic that you use under concrete, so it never gets daylight. It's good plastic, but of course as soon as it gets the daylight, then the sun rays and light will break it down. Because there's a compost bin behind there, it pushed out a little bit, so I've had to use a thinner piece of wood there, and it's overhanging a little bit. Who's bothered? Doesn't really matter. All these are at the right height, hopefully, and it'll all be lined with plastic and those Correx signs, as however many we've got. I'm not going to cut these off, because what I thought was to get another bigger pallet, a wider pallet, so I can stand my garden canes in. They're stuck on the roof and I can never find the length of garden cane I want, so I'm going to have this as my garden canes along here. So I've left those bits of wood, I haven't cut those off. Keeps them off the ground. I was going to use the screws underneath to keep it off the ground, but yesterday it was damp, horrible, and nothing was lining up, so I didn't bother. The links to these are in the description below for you to have a little look at if you wish. And hopefully later on we'll be able to look at my stash of polycarbonate to see if we can find enough sheets to cover it, and I'm hoping to use polycarbonate sheets for the doors, because in the past I've used plyboard and it rots, so I'm just trying to make things as easy as I can for myself. It's now 10:15, December 4th 2022. Pause and record time. Those bits of wood were salvaged from the hot tub cover some years back when we dismantled it. So, change of plan. That one there is a lot shorter than these, so I'm going to put that one there, because that polycarbonate sheet is roughly just longer than those. It'll look more pleasing to the eye as well. You might ask, how easy to get everything right? You don't need no fancy tape measures or guides, just use your eyes. Pretty damn good to me. So this piece of wood has got to fit between those 2 planks. To assist me, I've put that temporary board there so I can fix this end on and then slide that one underneath. Now we move on to the guttering. So I've got stashes of bits and bobs everywhere. I've got a length there that's good enough for this. We've got some square there, and then a box of or bag of bits and bobs that we may need to get us along there and down into some barrels. And I've been lucky enough to get hold of 2 more blue barrels, so let's get going. It's now 11:30. So the guttering's on. I'm going to test it now. That's why I haven't cut that piece of wood. Now I can cut it off at the end of the guttering. I'm going to pop some water in to see if I've got a fall. That'll do me. So I've got a stop end there. It's just holding water there a little bit, so I might pick that end up and it's flowing all the way down to the other end. Always best to do this now because I ain't going to be able to get onto the next door neighbour's ground. So that's all I'm going to do with the roof at the moment. It's far too wet because I need to put a silicone bead down near to the guttering so the water doesn't travel back uphill into the heap. But now I just want to concentrate on getting it lined, and I want to not have such a bigger space when I actually undo it. I'm just going to use that gap there. So I'm going to fasten this onto there. And I've got these awkward bits of polycarbonate that are similar to the ones I'm going to use to the roof, but these must have been in the corners on the roof. So I'm going to use sections of these and cross them over, and it won't really matter what it looks like. It ain't going to rot, and hopefully it'll hold the leaf mould in. Similar to this side, might just need to cut a smidgen off that. And that's thicker, so I'll put that at the bottom, and then that'll give me a good height. And we're not probably going to get all this in, but it's surprising. And any of the stuff that's really rotted down, well, we'll stick through the trommel. And I need to start to get the leaves from down here. I've only got about 5 bags left now before I run out, so this has come good at the right time. Like I said, the roof can go on later. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Oh, mind you, you're just watching as we go. It's 1:30 now, and I've got the first bay lined. I've used some sacrificial boards because the leaf mould will be touching that, and to hold the correct signs on, I've used the washers. You might think, well, that's going to be a little bit expensive, but when you can fill that bag full of whatever you want, screws, nails, sundries, I'll tell you something, guys, I can fill that bag for £2.50. It's well worth it. So we've used about £7 worth of screws, so up to yet this whole thing has cost me £10. No doubt I'll have to buy 2 or 3 tubes of silicone, so we may be on another £8 to £10, so £20 for this whole structure. Okay, guys, I'll crack on. Well, this has been a great help to keep the old hands warm. Pretty well running out of everything, and so that's going to be too high, so I can easily maneuver that into that, and then the last bit we can just throw over the top, exactly the same as this end. Because we've got such a lot of material here, I'm not going to be able to get the 1-ton bags up here dragging them, so I think my next job is going to get that into there. And I found another bit of polycarbonate that just about does the job, saves messing about with those triangular pieces, and we can start collecting the leaf mould. Again, to add to the 10 bags that I've already got, and at least I can have a good run up here now, and I'll bring the chainsaw up and cut all these pallets up into smaller pieces so that we can keep warm, and then get rid of the rest on the big fire later on. And I've only just got enough plastic, so it's a good job I found that bit of plastic this morning. I also had to have used some of the new stuff that I did purchase, but up to yet we've spent £10, and I can see that going up to probably 18. But what a good structure. I can get the 2 barrels cut now and just have a bit of a tidy up, but there's lots of leaves here, so wheelbarrows. And I still didn't spell perennial weeds right. I'm missing an N. Never mind. I know what it is. I'll leave it there, guys. I'm going to start doing a bit of that, doing a bit of this, do something different. Please remember, thumbs up, thumbs down for the interaction. Please leave me a comment, and why not consider subscribing and see how I get on with the roof. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.